Camille Love. What a festival.
It has been amazing, Leatrice. This is our first time taking this festival virtual, and it has truly been a labor of love, but there are so many people that we have to thank. I want to
Yeah.
first thank our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, for her support, but also for her participation as one of our panelists with the amazing Carrie Mae Weems, and our former mayor, Andrew Young,
Yeah.
for sharing with us the wisdom of all of his years. But this festival could not have happened without the participation of hundreds of artists across the city,
Absolutely.
across the nation, across the world. So we want to, thank the French consulate for bringing our sister city Toulouse into the mix.
Yeah,
We
that was
want,
a great conversation.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was, and then the most important people involved in this, is the amazing staff of the Office of Cultural Affairs, and Leatrice, the staff that you brought to the table as well. So, as we do a wrap on Elevate, I want to really, thank everyone for all
Yeah.
the hard work and dedication and perseverance, and just the teamwork has really been amazing. And to the people who have experienced Elevate, I hope that it is something that elevated your your senses and your appreciation for the challenges that we face at this moment in time with the pandemic, and with social justice, and hopefully, next year's Elevate will not have to have this kind of a discussion, but can, go on to some other relevant topic.
Yeah. And I think that one of the beautiful things about this year's Elevate is that we have been able to like really create a time capsule for
Hmm.
this moment, which is what we set out to do. When you guys
Exactly.
started talking about it, you said we want to talk about social justice. And I think that we really looked at all the layers of what is going on right now and how does the pandemic add to it? What are issues of equity? So we
Right.
really layered this festival, but we have created a time capsule so that we can look back years from now at this moment and understand and look at this Elevate Festival because it's digital, and
Yes.
look at it and say, this is what artists were thinking at the time. This is what people were thinking at the time. Because there's so many, just these threads that really pull through all pieces,
Right.
So it's been a very interesting and exciting festival.
And so, besides the Elevate program that we pulled together, we also pulled together the Pandemic 2020 magazine,
Hmm.
that is also on our website, elevateatlart.com, which is a time capsule of what artists were doing in the city,
Yeah.
starting in March with the pandemic. We when the pandemic started, we were in the throes of planning for the Atlanta Jazz Festival. And when we learned that we couldn't do that, we did 31 days of jazz with Atlanta jazz musicians, focusing on a performance per day. And then that sparked the idea of, why don't we find out what other artists are doing,
Hmm.
provide them with, a stipend for them to express their creativity to us in a way that we can then share with the general public. So we called on writers, poets, choreographers, photographers, and visual artists, and we captured the spirit of this moment in this pandemic magazine. So it's available on our website, as I said, and it's a
Hmm.
very interesting compilation of, right now.
It's beautiful, and it's beautiful. I mean, just the artwork is beautiful, and the vision for that. Good job on the vision for that, though, because it's really a beautiful piece. And once again, something that people can carry along with them and remember this particular moment. And
Yeah.
Camille, and speaking of the pandemic magazine, which kind of also brings us to just all the imagery for this festival, because the front cover of that pandemic magazine, we there were a number of different covers that could have been chosen,
Right.
and out of that, the artwork for the festival. So, talk a little bit about why that particular image with the starburst.
Yeah. Well, what we wanted to do was to have these ideas radiate out. And so the starburst is what affects that, which makes you think from, a central point to where it moves out to. And
Hmm.
then on the pandemic magazine is the Melissa Alexander's photo of, we referred to it internally as Radio Raheem with a mask on. But,
Hmm.
what it is that it perfectly captures the pandemic and the social justice movement in one photo.
Absolutely.
So it was so appropriate to pull together all of the ideas that we had for the festival. And,
Hmm.
I'm a product of the 1968 uprising,
Hmm.
so to me, it's kind of like deja vu all over again. I was just reading this morning about all the things that happened back in 1968. Uh,
Hmm.
that really formed the person that I am, and that I
Mm.
know that the things that are happening now are
Right.
going to resonate with this generation moving forward. And so I'm just really happy, Leatrice, that we had the opportunity to work together to
Hmm.
capture this moment. You have been an outstanding curator
Thank
and a
you.
partner in this. It's
Mhm.
been a real pleasure to work with you through this as we have developed these ideas. Some have worked and some have not worked so
That's
well.
right.
We've learned a lot, but I think that generally speaking, you pulled together a program that touched on every aspect of what is going on. And so again, I want to thank you for coming along for the ride. I know
Ooh, what a ride.
it's really been a bumpy ride sometimes, but this is the most interesting government work you can do, is
Yeah.
what I'd like to say.
Yeah.
This is we have to work through a lot of layers to get things done, but
Mhm.
again, you've been the perfect partner in
Well, I
this. And
appreciate that. Thank you, Camille. And actually, I've really enjoyed working with you. You and I've never gotten, I mean, we've known each other, through
right,
this work for a long time, but have never gotten to work together like this. And throughout it, I was like, I'm really enjoying working with Camille. This is great. Like, this is because it is a good partnership, and every partnership is not a good partnership. And even the bumpiness of it has really just been about logistics, like how do we
right,
figure out how to make things happen.
correct,
So I
correct,
think that overall, and I want to thank you though for just kind of giving me the leeway, to say, go create, because see, people don't think that administrators are, creatives in the same ways that artists are creators, but we all also have our own practices. And quite
right.
frankly, as you know, and many people may know, I've been trying to do a digital festival for 12 years since I was at the National Black Arts Festival. And, at that time, the technology wasn't in place. There were so many things that were
Right,
not in place that are here now. And so
right.
this opportunity, even though when we started, it was not going to be digital, but to flip it into a digital festival, I finally got my digital festival. So that part of my life is now satisfied. I can move on.
Well, I always say that the Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Yes.
This Having to do this digitally, like you said, we didn't start out this way. We had plans for external events that were going to happen. We were just praying that the pandemic would ease up and we would be able to, execute Elevate in the ways that we've done it in previous years.
Yeah.
But the fact that we figured out how to capture this festival will make it evergreen. We can always go back and have this.
Yeah.
It can live on our website. People can go back, and those who haven't had the the pleasure or the time of capturing Elevate as it's been happening
Mm-hmm.
can go to our website and, you know, see those things that will still be made available. You know,
Yeah.
as you were talking about, people don't realize administrators um, have feelings too. You know, I mean, if we were not culturally bent, we wouldn't be doing this work. And so,
Absolutely.
in order to curate a festival like this, you have to be very aware of what's out there that can help you realize the intentions that you have and the story
Mm-hmm.
that you're trying to tell. And what I someone asked me the other day, like, you know, what do I like the most? Music, drama, and I just said I like it all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just a real um, convert to culture. I just really enjoy experiencing other people's creativity and
Mm-hmm.
then figuring out a way to share it.
Yeah.
So again, you know, we have shared Elevate, and we've gotten great participation and viewership. I'm very happy about that. And again, we have learned how to work together under unusual circumstances to
Mm-hmm.
create an outstanding product. So, Leatrice, again, thank you to you and your team. Thank you to all of our sponsors, you know, and our participants. When we went into the West End, we didn't know what we were going to what kind of cooperation we would get. So I want to thank
Mm-hmm.
the West End Mall and Goodwill and Selig Enterprises and Willie Watkins Funeral Home and the Kroger that are in that community that have been supportive of this effort. And again, all the team members, you know, I'll do a special shout out to Emily Fisher on my team, and
Mm-hmm.
Devin Young, and Robert Witherspoon, and the Public Art Conservation and Maintenance team that went out and cleaned up all the artwork in the West End, um, and to the administrative staff in my office that has to process all of the paperwork.
That's
You know,
right.
government means paperwork. And you know, they have done all of that, and our weekly meetings have been so productive and agreeable, and you know, we've gotten through this. So Leatrice, I know that you know, your time in Atlanta is short, that you're going on to other things, but let this be your beautiful swan song
It
of
is. It is
something
my love
special.
letter. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
My
something
love letter
special.
to Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
special that you created for Atlanta that celebrates the you know the breadth and the depth of Atlanta artists. You know, between the Pandemic magazine and the Elevate program, hundreds of artists, Atlanta artists, participated. Um,
Exactly.
and as someone said, they showed up and showed out. It's
They
been a
sure
beautiful
did.
show.
They
Yeah,
absolutely did. This
yeah,
really did showcase, all that beautiful, beautiful work. I mean, from the
yeah,
dance to the music. I mean, just and the visuals. It's just been beautiful.
yeah.
And and I also want to just I have a forever team. That I have to say thank you to because it's been the long hours and the oh Lord. So Robbie Wyndham, Michael Moss, Brandon Sheets, and then a new member of our team, Stephanie Lee, who,
Yeah.
came in to pitch it and ended up being, I was like, so you're trying to get a spot. So he's now a part of the Forever team. But, and then, of course, my team at the Hammons House Museum, who opened our doors when we've been over there filming and all that kind of stuff. So Wendell and Audrey and Donna and then our audio Balaji Bailey. So I just have
Right,
to say thank you to
right.
everybody. But it's been great to be able to center artists in the way that we have, during this festival, and so many artists, so many artists. So
Thank you.
Camille, thank you.
Yeah,
I think
you're
we'll
welcome.
wrap now, but we're gonna and actually we decided we're gonna end it the way that we started it. So everyone, should just, I mean, you just ended, you just saw Julie Dexter and that wonderful Freedom Suite that
Right.
everyone did, and we re-aired that. But we're going to invite people to come to the Elevate website right now so that they can hear Salah Anansi's his mix in the moment. That
Yes.
amazing mix that we kicked this festival off with. We can't show it on Facebook, but we can show it on the website. So if you want to get your groove on for the next couple of hours, please join us on the website for In the Moment, which is the soundtrack for a response to the moment is what it's called. It's a soundtrack to this festival. So everybody, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Camille.
You're welcome. Bye.
Good night, everybody.